leather gloves, we're slapping in hams, popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands, pink cotton candy, love on a stick, he's chasing the beer, the circle the lips, play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball.
Just trying to play with my... Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughter Saves Lives Live. We're trying to be a little more mellow. We're trying to have a new effect on the show.
Okay.
You see, I didn't go live. I went, welcome to Laughter Saves Lives
Live.
Here at Paradise Studios in beautiful Massapequa, New York, Strong Island Television. My co-host tonight is the lovely, as my grandma used to say, John Santo.
It's just like I'm very rarely on the show.
And we're going to continue that.
So we're going to continue that. But it's like when you watch the Batman TV show, it's like all of a sudden the motorcycle went by. You knew it was a Batgirl episode. So this is like a special episode. I'm like a limited edition guest.
We're trying to make some changes. It's going to be a new show, new look, new feel.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
When is
and
that?
Rich Walker brought this up. He says, we need new feel. So I said, you're fired.
There you go.
So Richie, it's a new look. Richie's wanting to look, right? So it's a Rich
Oh, I get
Walker
what you, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
It's less Walker.
So Walker walked.
Walker walked. No, he didn't. He's so funny.
He's
always
a big part of the show now.
He's a big part.
Big.
And we're gonna keep him behind the camera. We're gonna put him behind the screen.
That's where I usually watch the show. I usually am back there.
Yeah, we're gonna put Richie out in the street, and every once in a while we'll have a shot of him out in the street.
That would be funny.
Walker walking. So a few things that this is the part of the show where tonight's show is brought to you by Barasch and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community. Thank you, Jacqueline. See, with Richie out here, Richie always says that.
Right.
And I'm so stupid that I would have blew right past it. But the wonderful Jacqueline brought us right back in.
Put it right up on the
She's
screen.
awesome. She's awesome. So a few things that I wanted to talk about. You know how I like to talk about food occasionally. And I was happy you were going to be on tonight because I got another little agitation in the food area.
Is it worse than the pasta?
Well, here's what it is. Here's what it is. Do you like?
And then I'll decide if it's
Do you like the corned beef? Do you enjoy a nice? I'm talking about a nice Jewish deli corn, not like the deli.
Yeah, I like kosher deli food, but I don't get. I get turkey.
Turkey in a
kosher deli.
Not pastrami, not brisket.
Nope, I always get turkey.
Oh my god!
With lettuce, tomato on garlic bread with the Ben's kosher deli, and they have the coleslaw.
Yeah, $45.
And the French fries. I love their
about
fries.
$45 right there, right? A sandwich.
No,
they're expensive.
No, it's not that. Ben's isn't bad. No.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go to Ben's. My wife and I and another couple had dinner there. $62 with tip.
The other night, your wife and I went there too. Remember the night you were out? Wife and I went there. We $45. She had dinner with me. Listen to me.
That was per couple.
You're getting away from the important part.
What's important?
Okay, so I go in and I'm like my kids. I'm watching like YouTube videos with food and the best corned beef place in the best corn. And I'm like, my mouth is watering for like 3 weeks. I gotta have a corned beef sandwich. And you know me with the mustard. I gotta have the right mustard. Right?
Spicy brown.
It's corned beef with the mustard, right?
Spicy brown.
All right. So I go in and I said to the guy, "Let me have a corned beef sandwich with mustard."
Okay.
Now, the average deli, if I say let me have a corned beef sandwich with mustard, how much mustard are you putting on that corned beef, and why are you putting that in? If I'm going in and I'm saying I want a corned beef sandwich,
they usually just put on the rye. If it's a rye bread,
rye bread, I gotta have the rye bread with corned beef.
Right.
Yeah.
They do just
how much did you just put on? Let me see it again. You just did like. Okay, here's what I think he did.
No.
Now I leave. No. I don't taste it there.
Right.
I'm driving home. I do the slob, disgusting stop at a light. I'm going to take a bite of this sandwich. Pieces fall in the car. I got the new car, right? I take a bite. I go, where's the mustard? If I'm saying, give me mustard, that means I want to taste the mustard.
They should have covered the entire bread. Now some people cover top and bottom, but minimum you got to cover the.
You got to give it. Now, if I said
this is the bread, you got to cover the whole.
Right.
Bread.
If I said to him, light on the mustard, That's one schmear.
That's one schmear.
That's what he gave
What do
me.
you call it? What?
One schmear.
Schmear.
Like a Jewish
Oh,
bagel.
schmear,
They have the
schmear.
schmear cream cheese.
The schmear,
One
yeah.
schmear. That's, if I say light, give me light.
Right.
But I said mustard.
Yeah, no, the whole top of the bread, maybe even the bottom. I don't know.
I'm going back. I'm going
has
back.
to be covered. Where'd you
I'm
get?
going back. Yeah.
You don't want to
Nice.
say the name.
Yeah, no. Long Beach, very well known Jewish deli over there.
Okay.
But I'm going to go back and say I want more mustard.
So
I'm going to walk in and just ask for mustard.
So they literally didn't cut the mustard.
They did not cut the mustard. Now,
And look at the color I'm wearing of shirt.
Now,
Yellow.
on the same
I should've
line as
won
we spent
spicy
like
brown.
a good 4 minutes of our show on that, which
Right.
is important issues. The next thing,
What?
I went in to the deli.
Another
Give
deli.
me another deli. Give me a chicken salad with pickles.
They didn't pickle you. Oh, which pickles?
And I'm paying extra for the pickles now. The mustard, I'm not paying extra. Now it gets more serious.
mustard standard, right.
This
Now, which pickles are we talking? That
Doesn't-
bright green
doesn't
or
matter.
the garlic dark one?
I didn't ask for what kind. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I like all pickles.
Oh, okay.
The
I
point
only
is,
like the
here
garlic.
we go again. If I'm asking for pickles
You want
and
pickles?
I bite into that sandwich, what should I taste?
Oh, the pickle on the sandwich. You mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, pickle on sandwich.
Not like the little
If
one. they
I'm
give you.
asking for pickles, that means I want to taste pickles.
Should be at least how big was the sandwich?
Sandwich. It should be a whole
Like
freaking
that?
pickle. Cut up the pickle.
Yeah, it should be 4 pickles.
Because they
minimum.
teach you to. They cut it little pieces. Then the next guy comes
Yeah.
in, and
Yeah.
I'm paying for that pickle.
Yep.
So I'm not. You see, I'm a little agitated about the pickles and the mustard.
I think this is worse than the pasta.
Because the worst of the pickle, because I paid for. Oh, here's a pickle. Yes, sir.
So I have a question. You said you're changing the show and you went Laughter Saves Lives live. Do you realize for the first 5 minutes of the show, all the two of you have been doing is yelling?
Yes, sir. It starts.
I don't think I was yelling.
It starts off low.
and then
and
it
then
gets high.
When we're talking about pickles and mustard, it's important issues.
I think this is upsetting.
I'm
you
the
more
only
than
one
the pasta.
who's even allowed to be in this conversation because I'm the only Jew.
Okay, so Mr. Jew, you go into the Jewish deli. Did I call him Mr. Jew? Mr. Jew, you go into the Jewish deli and you ask for corned beef. You must like the corned beef.
I love corned beef.
You ask for
Corned
mustard
beef
on the
and
corned beef?
pastrami. Yes, but Jews don't get mustard on their corned beef and pastrami. We get Russian dressing and coleslaw.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah.
But you
Yeah, yeah,
same principle. Same
Yeah.
principle. You got to put enough on to taste it.
Yeah, they get the Russian dressing and the coleslaw.
Well, thanks.
See, I like to get the sandwich. Ben's gives you the coleslaw. I dip my sandwich into the coleslaw.
All right, let's get to the less important issues now. Donate blood. No, I'm kidding.
Donate mustard.
Donate blood, and I want you to get on my tush because I hadn't donated blood in a little while. Shame on me. And they called me and made the appointment. I couldn't go. I have to reschedule. So people, get on my tush if you see me on Facebook, whatever. But get out there and donate blood. All right. Oh, how do you spell bidet? Is that the right way? B-I-D-E-T. Bidet.
I think so. Why?
Bidet.
Yeah, the
Because I have a new pep in my step because we installed 2 bidets.
Hey Siri, how do you spell bidet?
I got 2 bidets now.
Wait, let it finish. Oh.
I'm doing a
Oh
show.
yeah, do the show. Do the show.
Siri.
I'll do this.
But I got to talk to you. I can't. You talk.
I hear you. I hear you. You
All
got
right.
2 bidets.
I got 2 bidets.
See? That's
and that's
impressive.
you didn't see me walk in tonight. A little lighter on the feet, right? With the bidets.
B-I-D-E-T. Yes, you're right.
Very enjoyable. Now, here's what's funny thing that happened the other day. Put the baby in the pool. The baby says, I have to go to the bathroom. She's 4. Got to do poopy. Go downstairs, put her on a bowl. She likes her privacy. I go upstairs to get clothes. I come down, and as I'm walking down the basement stairs, she is screaming like crazy.
Because she sat on the bidet.
Panic.
Right.
No, she didn't sit on the bidet. As she got off the bidet, she hit the thing, the dial, and she's the right height, and it's hitting her in the face, and she's like, ah! And I open the door, and I'm like, oh my God, where is this leaking from? And I'm trying to save her. And then I look at her and I go, it's the toilet. The toilet is attacking you.
You got to decontaminate that kid now.
That poor kid's never going to go in the bowl in my basement again, I tell you that much.
Wait, you have a bidet in your basement bathroom?
It's Johnny L's bathroom. That's my little, with the shower, with the jets.
Oh, I can't wait to go to your house again.
Oh my God, you never been in my basement shower with the jets?
Not since, no.
Oh, I got
Why
it.
would I be in your basement
I
shower?
got jet for the just for the chest. Where we start? The head, the chest, the belly, and all
What, you
things.
got a car wash?
And all things good and evil. They go all the way down. All the jets. You can come over anytime.
What do you mean jets? What do
Jet
you
it
mean
up
jets?
and sit on my bidet. You'll be clean as a whistle, buddy.
I'll be the cleanest I've ever been.
You will
What
be
do you
leaving
mean-
my house.
What do you mean? What jets? What do you
The
mean?
jets in the shower. I got 4 jets, like the things off, the shower.
Doesn't the
things.
water come from the top?
No, it comes here, here, and here.
But how do you lather up? You can't stop.
You could keep it off when you love it. You're able to love it. You could go in between,
And then you.
it's a good time. It's a good time.
I have the detachable one, so I guess I have the wand.
I have the wand too.
I do the wand.
I have the wand
You have
too.
the wand too?
Want to? Here's what you do. It's
All these
Met
people
game.
have better bathrooms.
It's
than me.
Met game pool. The pool's 87 degrees right now in my backyard.
Ooh.
I got the above ground, the firefighter pool, not the fancy, expensive lawyer pool built in, but it's good enough.
You know what though? They're easy to fix if they're above ground.
Yes. So pool, you ready for this? Pool, Met game, bidet, shower. You have never had a better experience. And I'm even going to get you corned beef with some mustard.
I don't like corned beef.
Turkey with some mustard.
Turkey, Ben's Kosher Deli turkey is beautiful.
The last thing before we break, I think, because we want to get these ladies on, and then we can talk about some of this stuff later. July 4th, I went over for the first time Olivia's boyfriend's family's house. We're invited
Where's
over.
that?
They live on the water in South. Ooh, on the
Where?
water with a boat.
Where?
Where do you go on a boat? South America.
Oh, I heard the fireworks were big.
Ridiculous.
Were ridiculous down there.
On the water.
My eyes were burning from the
we
the
were
gun,
running
from
to
the
get
powder.
back. But here's the thing. Tell me if I'm right or wrong.
What?
All right. I'm invited over.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I hardly ever come on the show.
But I'm invited over to the house.
Oh, right.
You're inviting me over as a guest.
Okay.
I'm not the person that lives there and has
Right.
to say, hey, save that for the guest, whatever. I can eat whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they brought the shrimp cocktail out. They had 50 shrimp cocktail. I had 42. 42. Some people even went, hey, did you guys have shrimp cocktail? That's how quickly I
Do
ate.
they have that? What do you call that sauce you put the shrimp in?
Of course, you got to have
What
the
do you-
sauce.
what do you call that?
The cocktail sauce.
Cocktail sauce.
The shrimp cocktails with the cocktail sauce.
Yes.
Yeah. 42 out of 50 I had.
You had 40?
My
well, that's
go-
a lot.
My wife was embarrassed. My daughter was embarrassed.
you
and
really
I'm like,
ate 42
I'm
shrimp?
a guest. I can do what I want.
Well, that's, I mean, you also got to save for the people, but you're like the Joey Chestnut of shrimp.
They're like, it's not a contest. Old guy, get away from the shrimp. All right, we're going to go to break, and we'll be back with our first guest tonight is Pam Barasch. Pam is from, she is a host of oh my God, I'm going to say it right, podcast, 200 podcast, and she's a U.S. Coast Guard vet.
Oh, nice.
Put out the heroes thing that we have before she comes on, Jacqueline. We'll go to break. We'll be right back.
This is personal to me. I'm John Field, 9/11 responder and advocate. I walked the halls of Congress for 20 years. You too may qualify for the same 9/11 benefits as I do. It's true, it's the law. If you were south of Canal Street and you had any of the 69 cancers linked to 9/11, you may qualify for compensation up to $250,000 and free health care. Sadly, only 10% of you have enrolled. Access what you are owed. Call now to find out if you qualify. I fought side by side with Barasch and McGarry for 2 decades in Washington, D.C. to get benefits for all victims, not just responders. You owe it to yourself to call Barasch and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community. I trust them. So can you.
Nice.
And today, for our hero segment, we have Pam Barasch. How did I do, Pam?
You did great, but you really kind of sucked, promoting my promoting the podcast. You didn't say it quite correctly, so I'm gonna have to correct you on that. But and you just called me, asked me how to say it. Which
Say it again. Say it, Pam. Say it.
2,200 taps.
I'm such a
52.
jerk.
What
I
did you
told
say?
you I was an idiot.
Dude, you have like a worse memory than I do. It's great. It's fine.
Oh, and it's not even memory. It's right
written
in front
down.
of me.
It's pathetic.
You're making it worse for you. It's great.
I mean, it happens all the time.
Forgive me, Pam. Forgive me. I am stunad.
It's okay.
So nice having you on.
Thanks for having me.
Filling
Guys.
in kind of at the last minute, our buddy John Salerno from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I called him. I said, "Do you have a good guest?" He called me back. He said, "I called 20 people. They all turned down, but I got Pam." Was rude, and I said I wouldn't tell you that. Very good. No,
You just told us.
no, you were the first one he suggested, and we're happy to have you. You are a U.S. Coast Guard vet. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
And you do a podcast and a whole lot of good things. We want to start off on a somber note, I'm going to say, because I'm grateful you came on today because you just lost two friends. Was Jeff found?
No.
Jeff and Tanya Ramsey in the flooding in Texas. Tell us a little bit about Jeff and Tanya.
Oh, you're gonna put their pictures on there. Jeff and Tanya, man, they're the heart and soul of one of the foundations that I volunteer with the Adaptive Training Foundation, and they knew how to make you feel loved. Tanya recently just beat breast cancer, so it just like, can this story get any more sad? You know? Yeah. And they went camping with their family, and unfortunately, they were the first camp hit in their Airstream, but Jeff saved their families' lives. He called, their families that were in the other cabins, like, y'all need to get out. And then he ended up calling his kids, leaving voicemails, just saying, we're not going to make it. We love you. And I love you. And it's pretty intense. The New York Times actually picked up the story, which like crushed me even more, and crushed us. But with the Adaptive Training Foundation, it's a gym for nonprofit. It's a gym for veterans and disabled veterans and civilians, whether you're born with it or not. Right. And Jeff was always there. He was always there, and he was just there to support and love and make you feel loved. And this is a big loss for our community. We actually have a couple guys down there right now on the search and rescue teams. I've got family down there searching and feeding people, and I will be going down there Saturday myself to help feed. And the first responders, just being one myself, I know how much that means to them. And if they need me on a search crew, I've already got my name on a list, and we'll see what happens. But Jeff and Tanya are, man, we don't want to.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Very sorry.
Jeff, you could bring Pam up. So what do you were in the Coast Guard? What is your job now, Pam?
Well, I'm kind of my own boss with the podcast. I do audio engineering, and I contract some work out with the Adaptive Training Foundation, helping the athletes. But other than that, I don't do anything besides promoting our mission and what we do, bringing guests on our show to help share their stories of traumas and tragedies, but how they've been able to overcome it, because somebody needs to hear that, right? Yeah. And because somebody chose to share their story through music, that helped me take suicide off the table in 2014. And there's a really cool story.
You were considering suicide yourself?
Oh yeah, I was all I had to do was plan it. I was very close, and I just, I had one last shot to come back down to Dallas. I was living in Chicago at the time, and truthfully, I came down because I hadn't had a Whataburger in 2 years, and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. And it was the beginning of what ended up changing my life for the better. And suicide's definitely off the table. Doesn't mean I don't struggle just like everybody else, because I do. But yeah, I have a personal connection with that, and I've lost family members and friends to it too. And we got to keep moving the needle the right way, and so we can help others.
Well, you're doing a good job with that, and just the fact that you came on tonight with all you're going through, because the more you share what you went through, it's going to help other people, and that's one of the reasons you're here tonight. So thank you for that. You were in the Coast. Explain to people what you do in the Coast Guard. What is the Coast Guard's job? Because I think a lot of people don't understand what the Coast Guard does. Am I right? We do.
Well, we live on Long Island, so we see the Coast Guard.
We see a lot of coast.
But I've seen movies where they do like these rescues in Alaska that are insane.
Yeah. So the Coast Guard, we've been around a very long time. We do, from search and rescue to law enforcement to maritime. It was just like a whole gamut of anything and everything related to water, safety, and security for the U.S. and beyond. This all the Guardian with Kevin Costner. A lot of people are telling me, "Hey, because of what's happening here in Texas, But that really helped put us on the radar a little more. We get a lot of crap from the other branches, but at the end of the day,
it's breaking each other's chops is all part of it.
He said that in the movie. He said because we're not combat oriented, but they do have a combat. The drug interdiction is not. They have a little bit of combat.
Did you just say interdiction? Interdiction?
Interception? What do they call it when they intercept the drugs?
Just use like
interdiction.
What is it?
What is it?
Interdiction.
That's what I said, isn't it?
I don't know.
We'll have to play it back later. They intercept the drugs.
I got you.
So they have like machine guns and stuff. Mostly it's rescue, right? It's mostly boater safety and rescue, right? For the most part.
Yeah, and I was actually stationed in New England. So I was up in Maine. I was in New York City for a few months in 2004 for the 3rd anniversary 9/11. We have, we're a very small group. And when I enlisted, the New York City PD had more police officers than we did coasties that were enlisted.
Wow.
Because we're that small. But because we're small, we have to wear a lot of different hats.
Right.
We were cross-trained in all sorts of stuff. But yeah, so my primary job was I was a machinery technician. So I just made sure the boats were running, anything with nuts and bolts, make sure everything was going, right? But I also did search and rescue, did firefighting, did law enforcement. I've been pepper sprayed, like the whole gamut. You just got to do it. And it helped me grow and understand like, hey, we're out there no matter what. And in the movie, they said we're not combat oriented. And I had a Marine tell me, because I told him that. He's like, you may not be combating the enemy, but you're combating somebody else's enemy.
Right. The elements. I mean, look at those. Yeah. When those boats, you ever see the swells that these things get into? Like when the person jumps out, they could be jumping, a few feet. If the swell goes down, they could be jumping a lot further down. Sure. Because the ocean's waves are so big.
We did offshore boardings with the same thing. We had to get the boat crew up on these big old LNG tankers and the swells. You have to time it to the ladder, and if you don't time it right, you got people falling in we call it the drink. People falling in the water. It gets very dangerous very fast. But
sure. What was the? Give us one of the situations you were in, like a hairy situation.
We got sucked up under. The car carrier ships that come across.
Sure.
They're more boxy.
Yeah.
Well, we had a crew 20 miles offshore when I was in Sabine Pass, Texas. We had a boarding team that we were getting off on our 41-foot motor life or 41-foot utility boat in this big old ship, right? And I remember I was just leaning up against the rail, waiting for our guys to get down, and all of a sudden, like, I'm doing one of these, like I start looking up underneath the belly of the ship.
Oh shoot!
Wow.
And we're getting sucked up under towards like the prop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Back in, and I'm like, oh, this is it. So I'm not even ashamed to lie. I jumped in the pilot house with my coxswain and I put my head in my hands. I'm like, this is it. We're done. Heard glass shatter. The guys are yelling, and thankfully one of our boat drivers got us out from underneath it. But we snapped our VHF antenna. That's what that glass shattering was, like a big old round antenna. We snapped it in half. The rails, we snapped it, welds off the rails, and we banged it up pretty good. And thankfully nobody got hurt. But it wasn't a good day.
No, like John was saying, you guys sometimes have to rescue people off boats.
Yeah.
That are really like the perfect
from
storm.
Helicopters.
Yeah,
No,
the dolphin. They have
from
that
helicopters?
a dolphin helicopter, I think.
Do you guys have helicopters?
Yeah, they have the dolphin.
Right?
Yeah, I was on the boat side with the small boats.
Okay.
And then like the guys down in Texas, actually here in Texas, are the dolphins from Corpus Christi, Houston, and other locations that are helping with search and rescue.
Sure.
We also have the Jayhawks, which was used in the Guardian. So it's a lot of different platforms. But the cool thing is, if you're qualified on that platform, Coast Guard wide, you can pretty much operate that same platform. Like Katrina, right? Katrina hit, and because everyone has the same kind of helicopters that they were trained on, they could all come in and operate on the same helicopters.
Right.
Like you don't have to worry about getting recalled. You might have to do a check ride to make sure you know what you're doing, but you can go. And that's what's really cool about it.
Very interesting.
There used to be a helicopter base on Long Island. There were two there. Coast Guard, and then they relocated them to Atlantic City and to like
there's nothing in
New England. No, they have to fly here. It's
they have the stations, but the air station that covers your area is Cape Cod.
Cape
Air
Cod,
Station
right.
Cape Cod, because that's where I was at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was at.
What about New York City? Is there one in the city?
No, we had a station on Governor's Island a long time ago, but they've since closed that one down, and you have a Coast Guard station in Staten Island, almost under the Verrazano Bridge.
There's one at
Is there something in Fort Totten? Is that something in Fort Totten?
That's the one she's talking about, I think.
No, she's at Governor's Island.
No. The one at Governor's Island got shut down.
Right.
Now they have a Coast Guard station. They have a base right there on Staten Island, but the Coast Guard small boat station is by the Verrazano Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And they have
we're
one
there.
at Robert Moses, but they don't have helicopters anymore. They have
The helicopters that you see flying around in New York are from Cape Cod.
Cape Cod, right? Which is that's like far. That's at least an hour plane, a helicopter.
So the 2200 podcast.
2200 taps, yes, sir.
2200 taps podcast.
It says it right there.
Right there.
And it says it right there.
There it is. Okay, so this podcast, how many episodes have you done? Like 70?
I'm about 74 in. Been around about 6 years, and because it's so heavy, I was starting to kind of get tipped over with the guests, meaning I was not doing good. So instead of pushing out episodes weekly, I've chosen to do an episode a month.
Good.
Just because it's very hard, very explicit, and if you listen to quite a few of these episodes, you're going to want to take a break yourself. Right. But I promise we don't stay there, because on the back half of the other 30 minutes, we talk about how they've been able to overcome it or work through it. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Right. Well, I would love to be on. I know you mentioned it the other day.
Well, it'd be an honor. Absolutely.
Oh, it would be an honor to be on.
You got to get the name right if you're going to be on.
Yeah, I know. I got time.
That's only one requirement.
I got time right, didn't I? But I got
2200 taps.
2200 taps.
Hard to remember.
Yeah,
it's me. What do you mean it's not hard to remember?
Real quick, to help you kind of remember, 22, because that's how many veterans we lose a day to suicide, if not more. I guarantee you it's more, so that's what that is. The zeros, because that's our goal, to get to zero, and taps to honor the ones that we've lost and continue to lose. So if you look at it, it's all together. There's no space in between 2200 taps.
All right, I'll get it right. And
so
listen,
you have to get that right.
Listen, we both are not fond of the Yankees. We do have a kinship with Boston a little bit. I know you said, we do a little bit.
Yeah, there is kind of an alliance there, yeah.
Because we both don't.
Okay with that.
2 out of 3 from the Yankees this weekend.
And guess which one they didn't take?
Well, the hard one.
The one I went to.
Dan, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so sorry about your friends.
Very sorry.
Jeff and Tanya. I have, if there's any way Laugh That Saves Lives can help any of the firefighters out there, or the vet, buy a meal, whatever, but for a bunch of people, let us know.
I will. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for everything, and I love what you are doing.
Dan from the 2200 Taps podcast. 2200 Taps U.S. Coast Guard. We're going to go to break, and we're going to be back with Amy Lepet. Hold on.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, CEO and inventor of LifeVac, a simple choking rescue device that 13 years ago was made in my garage to protect my daughter.
Now, all of these lives have been saved thanks to LifeVac. Over 4,000 lives and over 2,000 kids. But still, a child dies every 5 days from choking.
Please, our family is everything to us. Consider protecting your family in a choking emergency with LifeVac. Go to lifevac.net today.
Thanks, Dad.
Wow, that was a fast comeback.
Look, we're back. Look, see how ready we are.
That's us. No, we're
back.
Look
how ready we are.
We're ready.
You see? Now, I hope I pronounced. What a guest Pam was.
Yeah.
What a guest. What a gal. Doing the good work out there. And we got a new friend, and I'm so happy. Hopefully, I'm going down to Dallas for the September 11th.
I love Dallas.
You want to go?
When is it?
It's the week before 9/11. We may do a show on the Thursday.
I haven't been to Dallas since 2012.
Maybe you go with me. We'll do the show.
I've been to Dallas 5 times already.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So our next guest, she's from a place for healing. She's for hope in her eyes. It's a place for healing and therapeutic refuge. It's Horsey's Amy Lepet. Did I do the cut right?
Flip it.
Lip it.
You couldn't just say yes.
Lip it.
She went like, basically she's saying no.
I couldn't see it.
Lip
Idiot.
Lip it.
Lip it.
It really doesn't get much simpler than that.
Amy, it is so nice to see you tonight, but we have been going back and forth, Zooming, and because before we talk about what you guys actually do, the great work for veterans with your horses and all that, we are going to do a comedy show on the premises where the horses live, not in the same barn, but we're going to do it on the premises, correct?
Correct.
And we are going to have a ball. Now, she's thrown all kinds of great ideas this one. She wants to make this what kind of theme? Tell John.
Well, old-fashioned rodeo.
Nice.
Now, like I was telling you, I watch 5 seasons of Yellowstone. So I don't know a lot about horses, but
Right.
I know
About stones?
I know that there's a lot to know.
Yeah.
And he's going to get on a horse, he said. And I'm like, I don't know. You're the president of Left to Saves Lives. That's a big risk. We got to protect him.
Amy, how much of a risk it is putting me on
How
that
big
horse?
of a risk putting him on a horse?
You have a horse for
No
me.
experience. None.
None experience.
Other than he never watched Yellowstone. I watched 5 seasons.
Mr. Red. Mr. Red is about as far as I go. What do you think?
Well, we do trauma work, so we put
That's how she starts.
we put beginners that have never even looked at horses on a horse to help repair the damage in their brain. So John's no problem.
I told you the story. I did go horseback riding with my daughter probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah, but that's not.
And there was 2 older women,
Right.
myself and my daughter, and one of us was almost crying, please, let's go back. Let's go back.
Was
and
it
the
you?
3, yes! And
No,
the 3
it's-
women like, we're not going back. Let's go. Oh
I just don't want you getting on like a
They are-
$700,000 Mustang. and
They're
just go.
powerful, man. Those horses are big
They're
and
powerful.
powerful.
You know what I don't understand? I don't understand how they jump. Their legs are so thin and they're so big.
It's like
my
Rich
wife-
Walker. It's
my
like
wife-
Rich Walker.
Like Rich Walker.
You got thin legs.
Like we're watching Yellowstone, and I'm like, how do they not? Like they're stopping. How do they not hurt themselves?
I don't know.
They're
But
so thin.
the name of the organization is Hope in Her Eyes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. It's right on the screen. It's right on the
It's
screen.
right there.
Right there. So
Right there.
tell our viewers some of the wonderful stuff that you do with these horses.
So this morning we had a group of veterans here from Soldier On. There is a resident home in Eastern New Jersey, Central New Jersey, Tinton Falls. So we had a group come out and do some deep diving into healing with our horses. So most of my horses are rescues. So for the most part, we know a lot of their stories and their healing journey. So now they are doing the tough work and being there for humans to.
Where do you rescue a horse from?
Yeah. Well, how do you rescue a horse?
Like, where would a horse be rescued from? They're abandoned from?
Yeah, there's auctions out in Pennsylvania, New Holland, Pennsylvania, Lebanon, PA. A lot of them are either just neglected from barns that can't carry them, or communities that feel that they're no longer useful for work. So they find themselves in unfortunate situations.
Oh, wow.
And
I never thought.
Yeah.
No, I would never think of. All right, so
I thought they were all really expensive. Like that's why I'm surprised.
no, they're not all really
but you
expensive.
have to maintain these horses in the barns, and
They eat a lot.
Right?
I guess they eat a lot.
Yeah, they eat a lot, especially when they're, in, I guess, captivity. as you would call it.
but we're not going to put them in a barn.
No, my guys live outside. They have run-in sheds and shelters from the elements, and when the weather gets bad, they're bougie and they have blankets. So we'll go into another. I have a comment about your whole bougie bidet situation later in the conversation, but we're talking about the horses. So
The horses have a bidet.
The horses have a bidet.
they don't have a bidet, but my horses are quite pampered. You know, they have kiddie pools when it's super hot out, so they can
Well, they
play.
should do good work, man. They should be taken care of like that. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so tell us another group that you've worked with. Your kids, you work with kids, right?
I do. I work with at-risk youth. I work with the autistic spectrum disorder neurodevelopmental group. Anything that's kind of hard stuff to the brain. So, unfortunately, when you are, developmentally challenged, that frustration causes stress in the brain, and those neural pathways get triggered either way, and it's still a trauma.
Right.
So yeah, and the horses show up, and they're just God's majestic creatures.
Yeah, it must be amazing. Must be amazing. So some of it is petting or holding the horse, I would assume, just kind of leaning against them and feeling. But some people do get on them and ride them, yes?
Correct. We do two different types of therapy here. So on the ground is definitely helpful with emotion regulation and establishing healthy boundaries, because you're working with an 1,000-pound, 1,200-pound animal. You want to love them and be affectionate with them, but they encroach too much. Now you're in a dangerous situation. So. Right. It's healthy boundaries, and it teaches us a lot about, how to interact with people. So, horses have been working with mankind for 6,000 years. They are willing to bond with, any kind of mammal so long as they'll ensure their own safety. So
right. If you treat them with respect and make them feel safe, and, my daughter has a rescue dog, and he's pretty big, and he was on the streets for a year in New Orleans, I think. And even to this day, he's been with my sister for a few years now. You could still see that fear, that they have. But he's a great dog, and just a sweetheart, loves the kids. But, I would assume it's the same with horses. They have to adjust if they were a little bit neglected or abused,
Even more so, because most dogs, they want to come up and lick you. They want that interaction. For the most part, horses are going to assess their safety first. So they're going to say, hey, check you out at the gate, and whether, determine whether or not you're welcome in their bubble. We do have one or two that have zero boundaries, like a baby that, just doesn't take no for an answer, and a senior just wants love and affection no matter what. So, you could be an axe murderer, and they're so long as you scratch them, they're good.
I can't wait. I can't wait to come down.
So there's a lot of horsing around.
There's a lot of horsing around.
Yeah.
A lot of horsing around.
I can't help myself with the pun.
So I do have to, piggyback on the whole beginning monologue with the bidet. So I just want to share with you that there is a poor man's version when we can't afford all of the luxury like sprayers. It's called the Tushy. And my boyfriend introduced me to it, and you can attach it to your toilet bowl. And it comes in, we found out the hard way that it comes in cold water, and then there is one that you can adjust the temperature so it cleans your tushy with warmer water, and it is just adjustable, and it just works with the contraptions on your toilet bowl. So I just wanted to give you...
change. I saw your whole demeanor change when you started talking about the tushy. I could see it. But you know what? That's what we have. It's not like a real bidet. We attached the piece to the bowl. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, I thought you had two separate bowls.
No.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, in Italy they have two. I went to Italy and they had two.
No.
And it's like a warm, it's nice. It's
no. It's what she said. Well, I think I have what you have.
Yeah, we have the attachable hose to the toilet that, just...
Where does it go?
I'll show you when you come over. I'll show you.
I want to go now. Can we on the show? I'm curious.
Before you come over. But yeah, it's enjoyable. I spend too much time on the ball. Too much time. But
that's a load of crap.
Thank you. Is there anything else you want to add about another story or anything coming up that you're doing? Any fundraisers or?
Yeah, our fundraiser is going to be October 11th, right? Laughter Saves Lives at Hope in Her Eyes, our comedy show. So that's coming up.
I want to see if I put that on my calendar.
Am I on that show?
Now you are. I gotta not put you on.
As a matter of fact, we are doing a cook-off with the VFW in South River.
Yeah. I have that on my calendar. I'm going to try to make it. I was trying to participate, like do cooking thing, but I'm just probably going to come and eat.
Yeah, shout out to Eddie Molina at the VFW in South River for that's turning out to be a fun event, the VFW against law enforcement, against firefighters, I think.
Are you bringing any horses?
I am.
You are? I was kidding.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, we were kidding.
Wow.
I am.
How many?
I'm bringing a mini horse and a pony.
All right, bring a saddle because I'll jump on right there. That's where I'll train, right through the food cart. I'll be running. What do you think, Butch?
John, we are participating in that. Chef Tom is representing Laughter Saves Lives.
He agreed?
He agreed. Yeah, we are participating.
I thought so.
I take it back. All right, thanks, Butch.
I have a question.
Isn't it nice when Butch comes on and gives us some good information?
Right.
Because most times,
isn't it nice when Hope in Her Eyes knows that you're going to be at an event that you're not sure you're going to be at?
Well, he said Laughter Saves Lives. Somebody could be representing me.
Right.
Because I got a big organization, many volunteers, 2 volunteers.
I want to ask can I ask a question? You said you're bringing a mini horse and a pony. I thought that was the same thing. Like, what's the difference? Can you tell us the difference?
So a mini horse tops out, I guess, at about I'm 5'2", and they are at my hip height, so maybe 3 feet.
That's my horse, Amy.
That's his horse.
That's it. Johnny will be on that horse.
The mini horse. But what's a pony? A pony is what?
It's a new horse.
It's under 14 hands. So horses are measured in hands. 4 fingers, but sideways. 4 fingers.
No, he doesn't So a pony is a baby horse.
It's a smaller version of a horse. It's not a younger horse.
What would we do without Butch?
What would we do without Butch?
Thank you, Butch. Twice you came on with awesome information.
We gotta get Stetsons if we're going on a horse.
Really?
We gotta get Stetsons.
All right, Amy, we're gonna get going because please hang out because we have a very funny comic coming on. His name is comedian Mike Salona.
Oh, Mike.
I have never seen Mike. I am excited to watch him. I told him twice. He didn't pick up like most people who know me. Mike doesn't even know me yet, and he's not picking up. You know what I'm saying? It takes you 2 or 3 years.
I always pick up when you call.
We'll go to break. Can we go to break, Jacqueline? We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, CEO and inventor of LifeVac, a simple choking rescue device that 13 years ago was made in my garage to protect my daughter.
Now, all of these lives have been saved thanks to LifeVac. Over 4,000 lives and over 2,000 kids. But still, a child dies every 5 days from choking.
Please, our family is everything to us. Consider protecting your family in a choking emergency with LifeVac. Go to lifevac.net today.
Thanks, Dad.
And just because the two of us are here with comics, we need somebody who's really funny.
Very
we
funny.
got comedian Mike Salona on the show today. Mike!
Hey!
Mike, thank you so much for coming on and saving us, giving us some comedy here tonight.
This is not what I thought it was. I was told it was Italians talking about heroes. I came in thinking we were talking about sandwiches. I log on, we're talking about mustard. Do we do mustard? Do we not do mustard? Do we do pickles? And now I'm salivating. Then I got stuff about real heroes, and I'm like, I never served. I tried tennis once, couldn't get it over the net, and long story short, I worked in the Navy for a little bit. Old Navy, got fired day 2. So
He's good.
You got some connections to the military there, Mike.
Yeah. So when 9/11 happened, I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
I said, this isn't going to go down on my watch. I left school early. I got in my car. I drove down to the Army, and I go, I'm joining. And he goes, buddy, You can't even get on and off a bar stool. Get out of here. I said, all right, okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
You're about 38?
I just turned 41. Pretty big deal. How you doing?
Because my son was in high school. Maybe he was a sophomore. Because he's going to be. I know what he's. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I much love to the troops, anyone that served. I realize they allow me the opportunity to be this fat American, and I love you all and appreciate it more than anything. And I got to come down to the show with the horses, and I got to jump on a pony, and we got to have fun at I'm coming to this comedy show. I heard there's going to be horses. I'm there. I'm going to.
It's going to be horses.
It's going to be a first.
We're going to do a promo. We're going to ride the horses. It's going to be a mess.
We want to make money. I'm going to fist fight a pony. I'm going to fight a pony. That's it.
I don't know if Amy would like that. I don't know, Amy.
I don't think Amy would like that.
Maybe the mini horse. Because she gets a lot of mini horses, maybe. So maybe
there's money to be made. There's money to be made. Michael Vick knows it. I know it. Here's the thing. A mini horse is probably 200 something pounds, just like myself. It's a fair fight. If we're going by weight class, I'll fight a mini horse for charity. Let's go.
Was that on the program? Did we talk about fighting the horses?
No. Mike, what I told you was I wanted to. If you're on the horse, I want to take it from far away because I don't want the horse to kick me.
Right.
You can get horses. People get killed.
Come on. I'm getting up on that horse. I
saw it on Yellow.
Get the ladder. Get up there.
Am I afraid of a horse? I'm going to say nay.
Nay.
He said, I'm going to say nay tonight. I'm going to get nay.
He was waiting for that. We teed him up perfectly. He was waiting.
I didn't know there were going to be horses, man. You guys were talking about pickles and stuff. I was getting excited.
Well, big pickleball players. Oh, we didn't do a pickleball segment tonight. Big pickleball.
Where are you based out of, Mike?
Yeah.
I live in New Jersey. Before you New Yorkers start throwing the middle finger, I'm from Pennsylvania, born and raised Queens, though. Queens.
What part of Queens? Middle Village here. Middle Village.
Ozone Park, Queens.
Ozone Park. Okay. Right off Howard Beach.
That's where my father's from. He is a Hispanic mechanic, and my mom is an Italian hairdresser from Brooklyn. Doesn't get more New York.
Oh my God, that's Italian right there.
Yeah, and then when I was 4 years old, they moved us out to Pennsylvania and they put us in Boy Scouts. And my dad found out that goats were not dogs. So, we're all learning.
Growing up in that area of Queens, was Belmont always there?
No, Belmont was not that close.
The other one, what's the Aqueduct? Is that the racetrack in Queens?
No, it's not that close. Well,
the one by the airport.
Yeah, that's close to Ozone Park.
Is that Aqueduct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 4. I was, selling drugs at that point. But
right, we're old enough for the track.
I went to Aqueduct one time, I think.
I do know stories that they used to race at the Aqueduct, and it was a good time down there. I think that's where I was conceived, which is nice.
All right, I'm going to see how much you remember about Ozone Park.
Oh boy.
All right, you're going to Howard Beach, the famous pizzeria on the left.
Gino's.
No, before that.
Lenny's Clam Bar?
Newpark?
What do you remember? Newpark Pizza. Yeah.
Everybody's posting
about that. That's good pizza.
Do you remember
on the left, though?
You remember Bob's Landing?
No.
That was my grandfather's boat yard over there.
Oh, I remember the Chinese place, Danny's.
Well, my grandfather didn't like Chinese people, so now we're bringing it full circle.
We didn't do Chinese.
I love Chinese food.
Yeah, we're Italian, so we always thought it was called General Sal. It's not. It's not. No.
See, I'm learning stuff tonight. I thought it was General Sal.
Well, that's what I worry about the Japanese military. They have General Chow. We have Colonel Sanders. They outrank us.
There you go.
Mike's like, I'm not writing that down.
No, he's not going to write that down. He's better. He's
look
got
how
way
dark
better
I look.
He's got way better jokes.
Because I don't even lay in the sun. I just go in the pool and.
Oh, now we can see Mike.
Look how dark I am.
I think you look great.
Well, thank you, Mike. You look good.
Most Italians are Sicilian, and they actually stem from Africa, which annoys a lot of Italians. But I love it.
No, I don't know if this. Maybe I shouldn't say this because I might be considered racial.
Oh boy!
Well, I'm not going to. No, Lieutenant,
here we go.
Say something about Sicilians, but
I'm Sicilian.
I'll tell you off the air. I'll call my
part Sicilian, part Finn part.
Here we go. Let's talk about interracial dating.
Yes, we have a bond already, Mike.
Why?
Because I said I called him on the way here, and he looked and he didn't pick up. We're already at your level. I know him for 5 years.
I pick up all the time when you call. You don't.
No. Let me explain. I got two.
You don't have to explain, Mike.
I got 2 kids, and if you don't feed them, they die. So, I had to. Right now,
they're eat every day, right, Mike? Every day these damn kids.
Yes.
Not in my house. You could save money by not feeding them. But what you do is they're in the garage right now, taped up until their show's over, and then I got to go let them out, fill their dish up.
How old, Mike? How old are they?
I don't know. Does anyone ever know?
Ballpark.
9 and 12. So
all right. Here's a tough one. See, Mike looks like a good father. Ties him up close by in the garage, not somewhere down the block.
Right. That would be terrible.
Mike, tough question. What are their names?
Well, I'm Italian, so it's Vincent Anthony and Joseph Dominic. I mean, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing?
6 combinations.
6 combinations.
I'm John Charles. My son is, what is my son? Vincent. Well, what is my son's middle name? John Vincent. John Vincent.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
His middle name.
We live in an Italian town in Nutley, New Jersey, and everyone you say, "Hey, Anthony," "Hey, Vincent," "Hey," everyone looks. We got we got Zeppeli trucks. I love Zeppelis. Those are my favorite.
The best. When I was a kid, now I'm a lot older than you, Mike. I know you're gonna say you don't look it, John.
Oh, John, come on! You don't look a day over 58. You don't look a day over 58.
And I am a day over 50. We used to go out all day. I mean, we never came home when I was a kid.
Not until dark.
Not until dark. We would go out. And my parents didn't know where I was.
Yeah, we always rode bikes, and it was, they just said when the street lights come on, maybe check in.
Right.
And everyone knows, don't go near a van. Everyone knows that one. And that's all. Right. Don't talk to strangers, say no to drugs, and don't get in vans, which are 3 things that I think are a good time.
Now, Mike, when I had a van, I used to do deliveries on the side or whatever. But I love kids. So, I would be stopped at a light, hey, how you doing? Like, no, don't talk to that guy. So I'm a pervert. Yeah, and I'm not.
An Italian guy that had a van. We don't know what the business was. Just off the beat, off the books, cash only. Just a couple ones to wet the beak. I get it. All right.
Wet the beak. I love that term. Wet the beak.
That was in Godfather too.
Oh, you got to wet
my beak. Yeah.
Here's the thing: you get garlic knots for the table just to wet the beak. Just to wet the beak.
Garlic knots.
Yes, he did not. He brought up here we go with food again. Mike brought up a point that I got a little twitchy about.
What?
Because my son, let's get a pizza. Oh, we got some garlic knots. It's bread and bread. What are you ordering all this bread for?
Yeah,
and then they'll give you pasta. Yeah. What do they give you with the pasta? Some bread.
Oh, he doesn't like paying full price for pasta.
What's another
at the restaurant?
You're there for diabetes. Of course you want all the bread. Give me the bread.
What does it mean when you have diabetes already and your family orders like this?
See, I can do garlic knots with regular pie, but not with Sicilian, because then that's a lot of
too much bread. Get a salad.
Well, you know how you get to the age where you can't drink and do drugs? Like you got to pick one. That's how I am now. I can eat pizza and I can eat garlic knots.
Right.
I can't eat pizza and garlic knots.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much.
Her sound effects are awesome tonight.
I feel like I'm in therapy.
Jacqueline is out of control there tonight.
She discovered that switch, and she's killing it. She's got the right sound at the right time.
I think her finger is glued to the switch, and she's trying to get it off.
I wonder if there's more than one switch. Does she have a different switch for each sound?
I don't know. She's amazing back there.
Hopefully she'll show
as long as she's having fun. That's all I care.
She's having fun. There we go.
Mike, where are you going to be performing? Make sure you say Primetime Comedy Club first, or Butchie's going to come on with the big head and the whole big
head.
Primetime Comedy Club is the best comedy club I've ever worked. You go there, he gives me a massage before the show. He does it right. No hand. No hands. No hands, he does.
Yeah.
No hands. Then the crowds are phenomenal. The food is even better. And if you look at the lineups, they're consistently the best lineups. So you don't even have to look at the website. You go, all right, they're doing a show, I'll be there.
Yep.
And Butch said we're gonna get an apartment and do live shows from there. So we're gonna do a little puppet show. I'm hopefully back there at the Primetime Comedy Club in December. But this,
Mike, we gotta go. Thank you so much for coming on. You're a funny guy, and hopefully we'll work with you soon. Thank you, Mike. All right, we're done with Laughter Saves Lives Live, the more mellow editions.
Thank you for having me back.
Yes, we'll have you back again and again because you're one of our biggest supporters. We are going to the Massapequa Diner. Good night, everybody.
Corned beef with mustard.